Hello, welcome to Saturday night, Sonia's variety show.
You don't even know the name of it.
Sure do.
Science Saturday Night Variety Show.
Thank you. This is Sonia, and this is my co-host Morel, and we're going to talk about a few things today. The first thing I want to talk about is this came to my attention yesterday. I had a client call me, and they live in a different state, Denver, Colorado. So each state has their different renter laws, um, but they had a problem with the lease because the lease broke everything down what needs to be paid for. They get the security deposit back, which is kind of simple. But obviously there's some fees. They have to have a professional cleaner come in and clean the house before they move out. They had to cut the shrubs, but that wasn't in the lease. Um, but there is a mention of landscaping, but it wasn't detailed. And I don't know if cleaning the gutters was under landscaping as well. So they had some concerns of like what need to be done under that lease agreement. So I told them to reach out to tenants' rights. Each state has their own tenants' right association, and what they'll do, they know the laws for that state and city, and they'll be able to go over what's right and legal in your state and be able to tell you if the landlord is making the right decision because we get it all the time. We have owners that want us to property manage properties and they'll say, I want to charge $50 a day for the tenant being late on rent. And legally, you cannot do that. And we have to explain to them that's not the law here in New York State. Also, in some states, just like in Denver, they collected if their rent was like 3,000 a month, so they collected a $6,000 deposit plus first month's rent and security here in New York, well, upstate New York. I'm not sure if the laws change for different cities, so New York City might be a little different, but here in upstate New York, you can only charge first month's rent and security to move in. Before, they used to do first month's rent, security, and last month's rent to move in, which was almost like an extra security deposit. But by law, they changed that. So now you're not able to, the landlord is not able to collect that extra money unless both parties agree and if the attorney has written something up in the contract for that. Um,
So
and
they
that's the only.
can't do like it's like sometimes they do like you gotta pay like 3 times the rent up front and like a deposit. Can they do that?
No, unless it's agreed upon with both parties. Let's say you
So
really want the apartment and your credit is bad and it's not where they want your credit to be, and you say I'm willing to pay this amount of money up front, and the attorney agrees, you agree, and the landlord agrees, and they hold it in escrow. Um, that's the only agreement. But by law, if you say no, they cannot ask for that.
then what if they say no? Then they just don't get the apartment, or they can like work with the landlord to make a better option.
They could work with the landlord to make a better option. Usually, what we do as a management company, we set our standards, and it has to be the same for each person. So, no matter if that person comes to us with a different situation, unfortunately, if they don't meet the qualifications, they just don't meet the qualifications. Um,
So what happened when I was finding an apartment? I had to put down, I think it was first month, last month, and I had to put a security deposit down, like
right,
because my credit was bad,
right.
and I had to pay an extra, like an extra amount every month, like $100 extra every month.
Now, was that agreed upon?
Yeah, I was agreed.
Okay,
Yeah, I agreed
it
to
has
do
to
that
be agreed
because I
upon.
couldn't find any other apartments that would accept me.
Right.
So they made an agreement. So I guess that's a call an agreement. Okay.
Yes. Unless agreement means you agreed up front to that situation and that's something you decided to do.
Hmm.
Because by law they cannot tell you that's what their standards are, and that's the only way they're going to rent to you.
Yeah.
And then also, people, I get a lot of people with Section 8 or DSS, and they say, oh, do you accept that? In most states now, it's illegal to tell people you cannot accept that because it's a form of income and it's called income discrimination. So,
Hold
y-
up. So you can't like turn down like Social Security?
nope. If the person says, this
What
is
if
what
they
I
don't
have,
make enough money to like? What if they make enough? They don't make enough money to even have an apartment.
well, that you can turn down
Okay.
because by law you can ask for them to make three times the rent.
Okay.
But if they make three times the rent and you're saying, but I don't want you because you're on Social Security, or I don't want you because you're um, has Section 8 or you're DSS recipient, they can't turn you down because of that. They can turn you down if you don't make enough money, and they can turn you down still in the states, most states, if you're not income qualified.
So what? So you make wait. So you have to make three times the rent. How much is the rent with people who have like Social Security? Like how much is it? Like 650?
It depends. um,
Because there's like income limits when you have Social Security. Well, unless they're like retired.
right. Yes, there is income limits, and but some people make a little extra income to come up to that. They might be married. They might
Oh,
have a
okay.
different spouse. So all that takes into a factor with the money as well. And then there's some places that don't require three times the rent. It's not by law you have to require that. Some places, like I have some properties that I don't do income qualifications as long as you can afford the room. I rent out the room, the space. So as long as you can afford that, I don't do the credit checks because it's month to month. So some places don't do those qualifications. So it all depends on who you rent from.
So I was talking about this when you were gone. When we had the bluebird. I'm talking about how I was trying to move out the house, and then I saw the rent prices. They were double or triple the amount that they used than what they used to be in 2019 when I was living on my own. So I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to move out.
Yes, and that's for most Americans now, unfortunately, um, because the income is not going up anymore. Some people are actually taking pay cuts and things like that. Um, they're moving in with roommates. They're staying home with their parents now. Some people, if their parents own a home and they have a little bit of land, they'll build like a little tiny house out for them, so it's almost like their own house, but they're still on the land where they don't have to pay much. Tiny house can run you $300 to $500 a month, which is
Wow.
more affordable than trying to rent a $1,700 studio.
Yeah.
So
You guys aren't such a pain in the butt, so I'll just stay with y'all.
yes, but that's what a lot of people are doing.
But I still pay her rent. Pay
Yes,
her rent.
yes,
And she loves that rent money. Loves
yes.
it.
So
I'll
it's
get the February 1st.
yeah,
March 1st.
yes.
You get that money. I'm making sure you get that money.
Thank you. So, yes, most college students stay home with their parents. If they do go away, they definitely go into like a roommate situation. Um, and then there's older adults that stay home because of that situation. Um, a lot of families are buying multi-families and putting some family members into it. They have a new program if you're looking to purchase a house. I'm gonna go more in detail with that next time, but he helps pay some of the rent. So if I was to get a house, he would pay. I would show and prove for the last 12 months that he's been paying, and then whoever else was paying. And then if I was to purchase a property, they can use that income as, even if it's a single family house, as show proof that I can afford that property as extra income.
Wait, so I'm paying you money And does that count as income?
Yes, if I go to purchase
It
the
counts as your
property.
income.
Yeah,
So
gonna
I'm helping you get a house.
yes, because it'll show
Wow, that's crazy.
every as long as I keep the receipts, I keep the receipts. I can show that okay, this person is paying this amount a month. So if my mortgage is, let's just say, it won't happen, but $1,000 a month, um, and he pays three, then they'll show that as income. So
Oh,
so that's great. So now people that have roommates and things like that, you can actually buy a house. Maybe it'll be cheaper than renting. So
yeah.
that's a good thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, just like we were just saying, just look at your laws. Tenant rights is very important for each state. If you have a question about your rental, about your security deposit, about anything you feel like you've been neglected on before you withhold rent, which you can withhold rent if you go down to your courthouse. You can make most places you can make an account with them, and then you have the rent either in that account or you hold the rent under their presumption that they know that you we'll try to work something out with the landlord and then you would pay that back rent. But definitely still look into your laws. Things change all the time. Um, I know upstate New York now is more concerned about tenants and they have a lot of tenant rights to protect tenants. So, yes.
So I just wanted to say something really quick. Um, so my credit's really bad, and I don't. I know that I'm not able to get a car. If I get a car, it's my interest is gonna be like above 20%. So I'm thinking of just getting a car cash, which is like six. I found in a car dealership they sell like cars for $6,000. So if you have bad credit, you should get a. I think. What do you think? What do you think people should do when they have bad credit? Should they pay cash for a car, or should they get the high interest loan, or should they? What should they do?
I think my personal opinion, obviously, is just to pay cash for a car, get a cheap, what do you call it, hoopty as they call it, for now. And then the main goal is to work on your credit. That would be the main goal. Like we have programs that assist people um, with wealth building and repairing their own credit through a fintech company and AI. So it works great. So that would be my suggestion is to work on your credit while you have your little hoopty.
Something that gets you from point A to point B,
Yes,
and then back to point A. And
exactly.
then,
If you're working and you need to get to work or school or something like that, just get something that's going to get you there and back and maybe go grocery shopping and run a little bit of errands, but nothing where you're like, oh, I'm going to drive and take vacations with. No, but just get something so while you work on your credit, then you're going to be able to purchase whatever vehicle you would like.
so what about the car repairs? Because since it's a hoopty.
Yes. So let's say you were thinking about, I had enough $300 a month I was going to pay for a car payment. It's a hoopty. You paid it off. Still pretend that you have a car payment. Every month, instead of putting a whole three, maybe put 200 in an account, car repair account. $200 each month, just like you're making it. And if you don't use it, you don't use it. That's great because that's more money that's going to go to your new car when you go to purchase your car. But you put that in there so if something happens, you can get it repaired. And one thing that I do is sometimes you go to a dealership, they and they'll say the part, because obviously most dealerships make money off parts. So if they say the part is $1,500 and you go online and you find the right place that has the warranty in the part, you might get it for 900. So you're saving money,
Mm-hmm.
and the company that's putting in the part is not going to warranty it, but you'll have a warranty on the part itself. So you use a reputable company, put the part in, and you'll save money that way when you go to do repairs.
And also, you should make sure you check the car for any issues when you're buying the car. Like check under the car, go take it to a mechanic and get a full inspection. Also, like simple thing of like if the air filter is dirty, then it's probably a sign something's wrong with the car. You don't take care of that car.
Yes. Yep. So that's true. You can go get the car inspected, even if it's a hoopty, just to make sure it's going to last you from point A to point B. So, yes, that's definitely some tips and things you can do to make sure you maintain the car, even if it's a hoopsie. It's when stuff goes wrong, get it repaired. Some people are saying, "Oh, I don't have the money to fix that." If you don't fix it, then something else is probably going to go wrong with it. Because just like when you're sick, if you you don't get better or take care of yourself, then you might have this problem that was simple, but now you got a major problem because you never took care of the simple problem.
Yeah,
So,
like driving bald tires, and then all of a sudden you get in an accident because you had bald tires, not ice.
mhm, yep. So very important. Just get stuff repaired and take care of your vehicle. Oil changes, um, regular maintenance, and then you can keep that vehicle because most vehicles can go up to 300,000 miles. Um, so as long as you take care, especially the older makes, if you get an older car or hoopty and you maintain it well, you can get almost $300,000. I mean, 300,000 miles off that vehicle. So just maintain it.
Yeah, so like I've seen cars, they're they're $6,000, but they're like really high mileage. So just get to they're like 160 or k or like 100k or some might be even 200k. So what do you think you should do? You should still get the car for $6,000, or like just make sure like you see, like, how do you find the lifespan of a car?
Well, if find the lifespan of a car, basically how well it was maintained. Usually, one tip is it could be an older car, but if it has um, not so many miles on it, it might be an older person that didn't really drive the car as much, but very well maintained that car, and just getting rid of it because now they want to upgrade the vehicle. So if you get a vehicle like that that has, let's say the car is a 2000, we're in 2025, was a 2000 and it has 100 and maybe 20,000 miles on it, but it's very well maintained, hasn't been in any accidents. I think what is it called? The car.
Carfax?
Yep, Carfax will tell you the information
Oh
on the
yeah, you can
car.
put the what's it called? The ID number.
Yep,
I forgot what it's called. Do you
the
know?
VIN number.
VIN number. Yeah, you just put the VIN number. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yep, put the VIN number in, get the information about the car. Is it a one owner vehicle? Those are excellent vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's been in no accidents. That's perfect. So those things you look for. So what if it has 150,000 miles, 200,000 miles? If it's not a lifespan car that you're looking to keep for 15, 20 years,
Just a car to keep you for like a year or two,
yeah, then that's fine. And then you just
which would be
maintain it.
like 10 to 20,000 miles on the car. So that's not that bad.
No,
And then your credit will be good, and then you can get a newer car.
right. Because once your credit is good, your interest rate is lower,
And
and
make sure you
makes your
don't make your credit go bad again.
and it makes your payment lower. So yes, so credit is very important, unfortunately, in the United States. So if you do live in the United States, then you have to make sure your credit is good and maintained.
It's crazy. Like I went from like 300 if you have good credit, like really good credit, and then I went to like almost $1,000 a month if you have bad credit.
Yes,
That's
makes
a
a big difference.
$700 difference
Yep,
a month.
yep, and that happens for anything, your
So you save
car,
a lot of money if you have
insurance.
good credit. So
Yep,
I'm thinking about paying off all my debt and making deals with the debt, and like making sure I can like pay like 30% of it. I keep getting mail offers of like I can pay less than the total amount. So I'm gonna do something like that.
yep. And if you need assistance with credit, just reach out to me,
Or me,
realestatewithsonia.com. And
talk about how bad my credit is.
and like I said, we have an IA program that'll help you build your credit and get your credit on the right track without all the struggle and the hassle and a lot of stuff you don't even have to pay for your credit. They'll take care of that. It does cost, but it's well worth it, and to bring your credit where it is. So reach out, realestatewithsonia.com, and we'll help you with that. And thank you for tuning in
Thank you for
with,
tuning in.
yeah, Sonia and Morel, and I hope to see you next week.
Alrighty, have a
All
good day.
right.